Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to check in with Nobu on another Juice Fast update. So you started February 2nd. It's now April 7th. So like 65
5.
days, if my math's right on that. So how you doing, Nobu?
Good, good. As we were just talking about, ended up cheating during Easter but overall, just like at the beginning of the juice feast, I could I needed to juice like consume calories like over a longer period. And like I also wasn't able to assimilate the juices as rapidly. Like I would get bloating or my stomach would get bulged. But now I'm at an interesting point in the journey again. I think I have cleaned myself. I know I have cleaned myself out a lot more to where I'm able to consume juice in a faster period of time. And I'm also able to intermittently fast again like I used to, which also may be from the fields that I created recently. But I think overall, I've cleaned myself up a lot more, which means I'm just more receptive to absorb and assimilate, these denser, albeit liquid energies as well.
Interesting. Yeah, and talking before we flipped on the recording, but you talk about just the lifestyle difference of not needing to poo as much, and maybe the effects that it's had on your day to day.
Yeah, it's been again like if I fall off the wagon on a Sunday, like it's usually just takes me like one day now just to purge out whatever solids were consumed. It's very rapid, and then but just lots of urination. I mean, again, I'm not so much having to go defecate as much now from the juice. It's really just mostly a lot of urination. Whereas when I first started, I didn't try this exactly, but I can tell you, like, I'd be running down to go to the toilet, sit in the throne 5, 6, 7, 8 times a night. And again, being like
Mm.
battery acid coming out my backside, burning my buttocks. Like that was
Whoa.
like the first month or so. And then now it's like, when I drink, it's mostly just being urination. I'm not having to defecate because again, I've cleaned out. Going back to the beginning of like, most people are full of shit. Like I've cleansed
Mhm.
myself out, and so now it's getting processed more by the kidneys.
Yeah. Do you feel like just lighter, like totally just yeah, how's it feel?
Well, it's actually funny too. I actually just got a compliment the other day by a girl. She said my eyes look full of Shen, which we talked about just now about Shen being like the spirit and the soul. Synchronicity is just continuing to increase. I mean, I where like things I say just manifest, and it really makes you wonder sometimes. It's like, was I destined to say that so that could manifest, or was that going to already happen and I just tuned to that, or did I consciously create that by saying that, which is a
Mm.
whole nother thing in and of itself. But again, going back to having the juice, having the electricity, the biophotons to exert magnetism on others in reality, I really feel it, man. I mean, like it's best. It's like I really want to get the words right here. It feels like coming home every time. And I know like when I fall off the wagon, like I see the contrast and I see it, every single time. But whenever I'm back on the wagon and I'm just like doing my juicing, it's like this is the way to go. Like again, you're talking to someone who's ate and eaten and consumed and I've done nothing but carnivore. I've done down a whole nother day. I've eaten standard American diet. I've done high carb. I've done low carb. I've done vegan raw. I've done vegan processed with tofu. And going back to even just like that lightness, like when you're not having all that fecal matter, just going at the very nitty gritty of it, it's such a different contrast in reality. Whereas when you go back to having stuff in your intestines and having stuff sit inside you, it feels much differently. Which that comes back to the core problem here is that people are disconnected from themselves, right?
Mm.
That comes back to the, and telling you is like if you do a juice cleanse or you do any sort of healing, a lot of times things are going to look worse before they get better. Like I think I was sleeping, like 16 hours a day for part of this. you know?
Mm.
Whereas most people were like, "Oh, he's malnourished, he's hurt." But again, like I always had John Rose's words in my head of like, some people have to go through during their healing crisis, have to rest. And now I've broken through that. Did it feel like it was gonna last forever? Yeah, like it sucked. Did self doubt creep in anytime like, oh, you need to stop doing this? Like, it's not the juice ain't worth the squeeze. But I'm glad I'm sticking with it, and I look forward to keep going longer and longer and longer, man. Like I know it hasn't been like strict, but I think it's also powerful for our audience to see it. It's like you can fall off the wagon and still get results. Like it doesn't require you to be 100% chast.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive. Yeah, falling off the wagon every now and again. You've still stuck with it for this many days. Yeah, much respect. That's no small feat for sure. And yeah, glad to see you're still going strong with it, and we'll keep checking back in. But yeah, anything else you wanted to say on it before?
No, I'm also I'm gonna do better about posting to social media, primarily my Instagram, of like uploading like what I'm juicing, which is still watermelon, but like watermelon, celery, hot peppers, and ginger has been lately. But like also like posting my body and like my bike rides. Like it's not because I know so many people will just say like, well, oh, like you can't just like no, like you can sustain, you can build it. You have to just go the distance and you have to stick with it though. You can't start getting your first signs of detox and hurts, which depending on where you're at, could be really rough. Right? If you're
Mm.
100 pounds overweight, like you have 100 pounds of fat that needs to get metabolized and toxins that are stored within it to be released. It's gonna take time, but it's worth it.
Epic. Yeah. Thanks again for being the inspiration to the rest of us out here, and looking forward to checking back in with you next time.
Thanks,
Thanks everyone for
sir.
listening.